Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine, and welcome to the inaugural version of the afternoon show. And I should probably get rid of this little thing down here that says pre-show anymore. It is the inaugural episode of the afternoon show. Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek. Socials will be popping up right here. You can follow me everywhere. Just Geekazine, there you go. And we've got a great group of people. We've been talking for the last 20 minutes now, learning about each other. Some of them know each other already. Over on Restream.io, we have, first of all, to my left, it would be my screen share, which has absolutely no name but screen share. And then next up, we have Anya Razina. And hopefully I'm getting all these names correct. I apologize if I mess it up. Down below, we have Stephanie Liu. And then Rob. Next up is Dan Willis, who's in the middle square right there. And then down on the right square, this is going to be the fun name to say, Rob Balasabas.
Oh, nice. Yes.
Thank you. I was thinking, I always do a musical thing in my head, so I go, Balasabas. Do, 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 do. Balasabas. Do, 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 do. So anyway, thank you guys very much for being on the first pilot episode of the afternoon show. We're gonna keep this as loose as possible, so we'll be going back and forth talking about different things. I'm going to start with Anya here, since you're in the upper right-hand corner. You're the one that actually put a lot of this together, so thank you very much. Why don't you tell everybody about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Jeff. It's definitely exciting. I don't do multi-people panels too often, so it's always a little bit of a thrill. I do lead influencer relations at Restream.io. That is the service that allows you to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. Your live video can go to YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, all those good places. And we also have a studio, which is where we are right now, that allows you to stream directly from your browser with overlays, video pre-rolls, guests, community comments displayed on your screen, all that good stuff. And a lot of these people here joining us are kind of like part of influencer relations team and our Restream movement group. So it's very exciting. We're going to talk about live videos, I guess. And happy to share any insights on what worked for us, what didn't, and everything in between.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Stephanie Liu.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Stephanie Liu, and I'm a live video strategist. I help brands and entrepreneurs take their live videos from unknown to unforgettable. So thank you for having me.
Well, that was short but sweet. Awesome. And you're also a hypnotist, a certified master hypnotist. Did I read that correct?
You've done your homework. Look
a little bit.
Yeah.
So, are you going to hypnotize us into whatever you're selling, or?
Because you're not in a trance.
Yeah.
No, having contract negotiations, Stephanie, for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, next up we have Dan Willis. So you introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Dan. I'm the Millennial Motivator. I work with companies in building community-focused branding. Really just diving in and building a committed community around your brands. I also trade stocks live in the morning and helping people learn how to do the stock market in this great COVID time. So a lot of new retail traders in the market. I spend about 2.5 hours every morning breaking down how that market works and how people can get into it without feeling overwhelmed.
I have one share of Facebook stock. True story.
It's worth it.
Yeah. It'll become 2 shares. Eventually, I know that
they will split. That's true.
Yeah,
it's coming.
No, I used to do some stock trading, and then when I started Geekazine, the first thing I did was get rid of all my stocks, because that becomes money into the end of the show. So and then I burnt through all that. So that's why I only have 1 share of Facebook stock now.
You'll be a rich man one day.
I will. I'll be dead by then. But anyway, Rob, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. Jeff, thanks for having me on here. My name's Rob Balasabas. I'm the brand evangelist at TubeBuddy, which is a YouTube tool. We've got over 4 million channels that use our platform at the moment. And so I'm the brand evangelist. I get to connect with our influencer partners, our users, and then find cool ways for them to connect with each other. I have a live show on the TubeBuddy channels called The Creators Corner, where I just get to talk to different creators and different brands that help our community. So that's me.
Yeah. And we're both. I'm also part of the TubeBuddy system there, and also an influencer there. Although I don't do the brand ambassador stuff, I've been on early on, and a lot of the features that they really got into TubeBuddy. I was like saying, you need this, you need this, you need this, and they said, and they were going, oh yeah, we got to add that. So I've been on TubeBuddy for a long time. It's a great program. So, all right, let's first of all, if you want to ask questions, we do have the chat. Of course, go in your chat wherever you are, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope. I don't have a LinkedIn Live just yet, so we're not on LinkedIn Live, sorry, but we're on Twitch. So ask your questions there, and we'll get them up here. We're going to see if there's any questions in there. And it just says two things. Is Dan Pog by Euro37,
What's up,
and then Dan by Gaming Goodies. So what is that? What is the plug
Apparently,
about
that's
that?
the most popular guest we have here. Somehow Dan is the star. Well,
Dan's the man. Is the screen shared?
These are guys
No,
that trade with me during the day. These guys are typically guys that are in that trading Discord. So they figured they'd swing through and see that I'm actually a marketer as well. I don't just trade stocks all day.
All right. Well, let's start with the easiest of questions, and that is, we're now 5 months into this whole COVID thing, stay at home thing, whatever. Let's talk about how that if it has changed. For me, it was literally I was building the new studio from Studio A, and we're in Studio B now. I was building the studio anyway, but it was just kind of getting things done a little bit quicker. So we'll start. Let's start with we'll go to the opposite end. We'll go to Rob and ask that question. How has this changed you in the last 5 months?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've always been working remotely, so it hasn't really changed my work life so much. It's definitely changed what we do at work. A lot of a big part of what I do is travel to different conferences, and obviously that's not happening. So that's why we've really gravitated to live streaming to connect with our users and also do collaborations with all our different partners that we would normally do when we're in person at different conferences, right? We would meet up at a coffee shop or, do a collaboration interview in person. So we're just transitioning that online through live streams. So that's really how it's changed. I mean, as a business, everybody's gravitating to YouTube, which is primarily what we're all in on YouTube. So people are consuming content there. They're creating side hustles and businesses and channels and their audiences there. So that's directly related to our busyness at this time.
Show of hands, who's going to miss their either Diamond or 1K status next year? Nobody? No? Nobody? Does it? Who else travels for their job? Okay, Stephanie. Dan, you don't do any traveling at all, or?
I go to a few conferences every year, but I do the majority of my stuff via remote.
Okay.
Yeah, so I love going to conferences, don't get me wrong, but my travel points are the least of my worries.
Okay. So tell us how this has changed for you in the last 5 months then.
I mean, it's been great. One of the things that I've noticed with live is that kind of expectation that you need to have this really polished live performance. That's right out the window. I start my stream at 4:30 in the morning, so polish is right out the door. I wake up with the bags and I'm still kind of getting alert, and people just accept it. They're fine with it, and it's kind of fun that way where it's more just about the content and relating with the community, and then all kinds of new opportunities as well. I really wanted to get to South Africa last year to speak at an event, and just the travel didn't work out. There was complications with flights and stuff. And This year they're running it completely online. So I'm going to be able to engage that audience in South Africa in September, largely due to COVID being what it is. So I guess I'm thankful for it. That comes across kind of weird, but really exciting new opportunities at the very least.
So you then have to say buy a donkey.
And
for those of you who don't know, buy a donkey is Afrikaans for thank you.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, it was the easiest word to learn. I have a friend who is from Cape Town, and he taught me that. That it's just one of those things that sticks in your head.
It's Afrikaans. Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Stephanie, Stephanie, how has the last 5 months worked for you?
It's been very interesting. As Rob had mentioned, for those of us that speak at events, those have all transitioned to online. Plus, put on top of that the fact that the 360 Marketing Squad and I are launching a book with Entrepreneur Press next week. And so we had it all dialed in for, a book tour. So then now that's actually virtual. But from a business standpoint, I'm finding that our business is actually flourishing in the sense of live video production. So we now have corporate clients reaching out to us asking, how do I take this Zoom meeting and how do I elevate it? How do I make this much more engaging? And so we're now doing media training on how to leverage live streaming, how to put on a show, how to impress your annual shareholder meetings. So that, as part of our business, has really expanded. Our team has also grown in hiring additional live video producers. So it's been exciting in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations on the book coming out. It'll be available where?
It'll be available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all the different places, Entrepreneur. You'll find it.
Okay. I'll put a link once that book's available on in the places. I'll put a link on the page so everybody knows how to get a hold of it, of course. So. And then we have Restream. In the last 5, the funny thing is they're in Austin, Texas. I go to Austin, Texas a lot, mostly for South by Southwest. And I have never been to the office of Restream. And hopefully for 2021, if there is a South by Southwest, I am going to be in that office.
That's right. It's actually very funny. We just leased this office in February, so literally a month before coronavirus happened. So we kind of enjoyed the office for months, and then everyone was back home, and we were like, "Oh no, this is such a beautiful space. We were so happy here." But of course, now since we're a pretty small team here, we're still back. I'm working from the office for the sake of internet and my little studio setup. So how the pandemic changed my life within Restream ecosystem is, well, first of all, when I kind of have a very exact date, I think it's March 17th or something around that time, when it felt for us at Restream like the whole world woke up realizing that they are all live streamers today. Because it's that or else. In order to stay relevant, in order to stay connected with their communities, they had to figure this out. And we had a massive spike of new users, of people who had an account with us who immediately decided that they need to resume this conversation. So it was overwhelming, but at the same time, very exciting that people kind of got back to streaming in general, to live video, and kind of rediscovered or discovered it for the first time. People from all industries. We saw churches streaming, we saw fitness trainers, we saw musicians, politicians. It was really exciting and overwhelming. And for me, because around that time, I started to work with influencers and kind of grow our evangelist and brand advocacy program. It was a little bit of a change of focus, but that helped me meet amazing people and, actually start my own live show so I could kind of speak the same language as those folks, with you folks. So there was a lot of change, mostly positive. The only thing I really miss is traveling. But that's hopefully coming back eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I've been using Restream for a little over a year now with Geekazine Live. Of course, that happens 24/7 of all the videos of when I used to go to conferences back and forth. And it's been a great program to have in my arsenal, so I don't have to use all my bandwidth trying to go to several different places on the interwebs so people can watch the show. So. Thank you. All right. Well, big thing is, with all this, we're still working. We're still trying to make money. Dan, you've got the stock market. Dan, you've got the stock market show. I thought I said your name wrong. I apologize. You got the stock market show. Have you been doing that since COVID, or have you been doing that before COVID?
No, that was just since COVID. I took my understanding of how businesses operate in December, actually right after Social Media Marketing World, when I came home from there, I realized that there was going to be a significant change in how things were done with conventions and conferences. So my travel for the rest of the year, I had essentially just marked it off that Canada probably won't let me fly into the States anyway, so I might as well look to transition to something else. Live streaming was something I'd always wanted to play around with a little bit more. I had a Twitch partnered stream anyway from a few years back when I was in esports. I figured I'd fire it up again, give the stock market thing a try, and just try to help all these retail traders that are using their stimulus checks to trade the market, to try to help them hold on to some of that stimulus check. And it's been really interesting. It's been great to meet people from all over the world. Restream makes it really great. What I love is not having to pick a community, where I can, Twitch, Periscope, LinkedIn, YouTube, all at once. They're all in there. And it's kind of cool to see those different communities, where Twitch, you get a bit of a younger demographic, and then LinkedIn, you got the very professional and prim and proper, or at least business minded anyway. And then Facebook, my mom shows up and she's like, "Hi, I love you, son." So it's kind of nice to have that mix and blend, that you're able to engage so many different people, irregardless of what niche you're in, I think.
Okay. Rob, do you agree to that? You're muted.
Rookie. Multi-streaming is really powerful. So, we have different communities. Like Dan said, there's different communities primarily on YouTube, but we also have people that we want to reach on LinkedIn, on Facebook, our Periscope, our Twitter, channels are really active with our community as well. So, multi-streaming has been like just such a game changer for us, especially during lockdown, for sure.
Yeah. And you also at TubeBuddy, they also have the back end stuff, the Discord server and the and things like that. That you don't have a Slack channel, do you guys?
No. We have a Discord, and we have our community forums. So we've got different, community is huge for us at TubeBuddy. So we try to meet our users where they are. And there's a lot of, gamers, for example, on Discord, a lot of YouTubers on Discord. So we have a Discord server, and then we have our community, and then everywhere else. So, it's a big part of what we do.
And Stephanie, what type of channels do you guys have to get your message across?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, that's where Restream comes into play, right? So we're everywhere, especially on the Facebook landscape. We have the Facebook business page. We have the Facebook groups, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. So that's usually where we're at. And just like everyone else, it's always interesting to see the dynamic. Like, one of the things that I love most about Restream is the analytics of knowing like where the majority of the audience is coming from. And for someone that actually produces events for clients, it makes you so much more valuable as a team player to come in and say, I'll produce a show for you, and I'm going to come and give you the actual analytics to say who your audience is, who your big fans are that you need to support, and so on. So it's been good.
Awesome. So we got a few things in the chat here. No questions, but some people that want to say hi. This first one's really weird. This guy, Rob, how do you pronounce that? Hey, everyone, goes Rob. And then, of course, Equinox Productions goes, good evening. And C. Ova says, hey there. And as we're doing this, I do have to make that note to Anya, the whole idea that we're now blocking Stephanie every time I show a message. We need to think about that. So
I will present everyone. Ta-da!
You don't have to do that, but thank you very much. So
great point.
Stephanie's got. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that's a great point. Room for improvement. That's the beauty of live shows. Like, you learn something new about the product every time.
Yeah, and we were on a couple days ago, and we were going through this whole how this all works. As I was trying to figure it out myself, because I was just doing one-on-ones at the beginning, and I think I got a pretty good handle on things between what I normally do on my live show, and you saw some of the graphics on that, and then of course going through Restream on that, and that makes it even more powerful for sure. So, all right. So Stephanie, you guys talked about the book. Rob, is there anything that is coming out that you wanted to share that you haven't yet?
For us, no, TubeBuddy, we are just heads down, trying to handle all of the. I'm like checking if my mic is muted.
Do it once, yeah.
No, we're just heads down. Like right now, we're just trying to handle all the new traffic, new users. Again, with everybody at home consuming YouTube, building YouTube channels. We're just directly related to that, busyness. So yeah, nothing super exciting to announce or plug or anything like that, but we're just heads down we're focusing on more educational content. That's really what we're creating. You'll probably notice that on our channels, on our live streams. We're bringing on experts to really talk more about YouTube strategies rather than like specifically TubeBuddy more. So we're just trying to help new YouTubers really understand how the platform works, and then TubeBuddy will come in as a solution to make that easier. But that's down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. That I've seen a lot of videos and just amazing stuff, and I of course I do some stuff myself, not on TubeBuddy. Maybe down the line we'll see how that works, but definitely learning a lot from the TubeBuddy sides. How about yourself, Dan? Anything to announce on the show, like super secret?
September is the South Africa Innovation Summit, and this is the first time that they've actually been able to just really focus globally. Normally, they've been really inhibited with having largely African speakers and people directly from that continent. But with them going online, they're trying to pull in, instead of a massive amount of speakers, they're narrowing that group to about 8 to 10 speakers that are experts from all over the world. So it's actually really exciting to engage that continent, which is just got a bit of a different vibe as far as how they do digital marketing and social, but it's giving it a real global feel to it. So I'm pretty excited for it. I'm excited to not only speak to that continent, but also to kind of see how the North American concepts of digital marketing and social media pair well with what's going on there, and how they're growing and using the tools in new and innovative ways. I've already had some pretty cool conversations where people are like, oh, this is how we would do it. It's like, oh, I never even thought of that. That is so cool that you could possibly do that. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing things that are coming with that. I've never been able to attend it myself, so I've got kind of that butterfly in the stomach. Ooh, first time at a conference thing going on, which is always kind of fun. But yeah.
Absolutely. And I know you already pushed promoted the book, but anything else you want to talk about with that book there, Stephanie?
Oh man. There's so much that's happening. You guys, I know you guys are all on LinkedIn too. I'm working on a LinkedIn learning course about live streaming. So Anya and I have had some conversations to talk about like, ooh, what should we drop? What should we mention? So it's really fun to realize that a lot of people are embracing live streaming. Like next week, I'm speaking at an event called the Quietly Successful Summit, and it's for introverts, which I love because introverts feel like they have to change their personality in order to be on camera, when really it's like, you just embrace your personality, be yourself. And just once you grasp the tools, the different platforms and what they have to offer, you're welcome to the live streaming community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Anya, let's talk about Restream, and because I just opened this up today and I'm looking at the interface, and I noticed that there's 2 buttons now as opposed to 1 button, which does this resize to full screen for you. And I'm not sure how those buttons work. Do you know anything about that?
Do you mean the buttons on when you share your screen, like 2 different things that you can do?
When I go from here to here to show you full screen, there's another button that does this. Yep. Oh, I see. That brings the,
here we go.
The boxes down.
I have never seen that.
Like,
that just showed up yesterday.
Yeah, this is new. This is one of the updates, and this is kind of how we operate right now. And just in general, this is kind of like Restream way. We are a lean startup, lean approach company. We do multiple iterations. We constantly push new features, test them with our beloved influencers, first of all, because they are just the gold mine of great feedback, interesting ideas, feature requests. So we have like a whole Slack channel just for them so they could share their questions, concerns, and thoughts of what would be better. So that's why it's not uncommon experience for Restream users to show up and be like, oh, a lot of things changed, a lot of new buttons popped up. So yeah, this is the difference. So some people requested that if you sometimes want to showcase either a person or your screen, you don't want those multiple little boxes with other participants in the bottom, because they potentially might be blocking someone's content if you're sharing your screen, or they just might be unnecessary and just kind of distracting for the video. But for some situations, you do want to show all the participants if it's like a panel discussion and you really want to see the emotions and like what people are doing. So this is why we have those 2 buttons now, so you can kind of like pick your poison.
Awesome.
I love
Awesome.
the
Well,
your poison. It was so cool. Like when it popped up, I was like, "This is like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like what just happened?"
Yeah, exactly.
so we're all
Like,
down here.
Yeah, here we go. Like do something crazy.
You're hypnotizing us. Stop it. I just
Well,
have to remember what.
Equinox Productions is kind of interested about the platform that we're using here to do this and how we connect to using this and how difficult that is. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about bringing people in on stuff like this? Is it pretty easy as far as it goes? Because this is the first time I've ever done one of these. I'm not even sure how difficult or easy that was to get us all in here and put this all out like this.
Stephanie?
It's seamless, honestly. If you're used to clicking on a link as you would in going to a Zoom meeting, this is like the same exact thing. You go in there, you connect your camera and your mic, and you're good to go. So very easy. No NDI technology required.
Rob?
That's a good question. You don't need the NDI technology. You just give your guest a link, and then they just click on it on their browser, and they show up on your dashboard. So as the host, it's pretty intuitive. Like you got to, obviously take a bit of time just to get yourself familiar with it. But once you kind of see how everything works a couple times, then it's pretty seamless. And you look like a pro to your audience really fast.
Yeah, instant pro level live streaming. One thing that I noticed, I don't know if you guys saw this, because when Rob was like, oh, rookie mistake. Did you know that on the keyboard, if you type M, it'll mute and unmute you? Yeah. I was like, oh, that's so sick.
Command if you do Command V, it will also turn off your video, but maybe don't do that because it will turn off your video.
Yeah, don't do that.
I mean, I'm just impressed with the simplicity of it all. Like, traditionally, I use OBS. I'm one of those old school Twitch broadcasters, so OBS is what I've always used, and that there's a significant. I know, Rob, when I was on talking to you the other day, we were breaking that down, and there's a significant learning curve to OBS. But this looks like people are saying it looks more fluid than Zoom, but it really does seem like that same simplicity as Zoom, but applied to streaming. The number of people I know that are doing their business calls on Zoom, and it's that constant struggle of, are you okay? Can I talk to you on that? Is that okay over there? Is this okay? Is that okay? Okay, great. Now let's record the interview. Okay, let's try that. Okay, does that work? No, that doesn't work either. This just seems to solve so many of those headaches.
Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest headache is doing a lot of live stream or recording a live stream. I use Wirecast. When I do all my recording, is in Zoom. You have down here is the little name, and up here is when somebody shows up, it drops down saying this person has joined. And if you're recording a screen, all of a sudden it's called a dirty screen, and your screen gets dirty, and you have to do creative things like crop in the borders so they don't see those buttons, and it's sometimes a nightmare. So I like it when things are easy and clean, so I can just bring people in. NDI being one of those things. I know we're going to get to the questions here in a second here, but NDI being a great program for that. So we'll start with the first question here. And that was from Equinox. He goes, what platform are you using to produce this show? Everybody, 3, 2, 1.
Restream.
There we go. All right. Second question, also from Equinox. How do your presenters connect to the show? Anya, do you want to explain how that works?
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually going to add one little thing to your awesome praising comments about how easy and how seamless that is. It is important to remember that for your guests, they do not have to have a Restream account, and they don't have to register or create any kind of username, profile, anything like that. And I believe Zoom does allow you to just click the link and connect, but a lot of platforms actually require you, for the better experience, to have an application or to actually log in and have an account. So Restream doesn't need any of those things. You just click the link and you're here. As a host, you can copy your link and share it whichever way you want. You can put it in your calendar invite because the link is static. So it basically will remain for all of your live streams until you choose to refresh it. You can post it on social media. Even in your chat, I've seen some crazy shows when people just throw the guest link in the chat and just pull the community in, so they actually pop up as a video box. I would say brave, very brave. I don't do it on my show. I barely. I'm okay. I trust my guest is not going to do anything crazy. So, but it's an option if that's what you want to do, to kind of take that interactive and community inclusion piece to the completely to the next level. And Yeah.
I ran the first time I did Zoom, I ran an open Zoom, and I made the mistake. I planned to do it this way. I wanted to see how it worked. I sent out a tweet saying this, and I didn't use the Zoom regular ID. I just created one and then said, "Hey, come to my Zoom room," and so I can test this out. And yeah, I had some very creative, to say the least, people in the show, and definitely never going to do that again. So let's go to the next question. And we did talk a little bit about this. Equinox goes, are you using any NDI technology? Technically, with Restream, we don't have to use NDI technology. I am personally using NDI technology to get my video and audio to you guys. So Stephanie, do you use it at all, or?
Any NDI technology?
Yeah.
So sometimes in other live streaming platforms, you could bring in a guest if there's NDI in there. One thing that I've been playing around with, and I was even looking at your graphics because it looked like it was Titler Pro.
You are correct, yes.
Yes, yeah. So Titler Pro, I would use the NDI to bring that into the live streaming production of it. And it's been really fun. I love the fact that you could just have your graphics and just beam them over to the other computer and not have to bog down your machine. So when you enter the world of NDI, oh my gosh, it's like, there goes the rabbit hole.
Yeah, absolutely. It can have its downfalls too. I'm on a daily call where these are high-end video and audio professionals, and they're not too into NDI because they run networks. They want to have wires going from one to a camera to the base, and of course they get paid to be able to have those types of streams that if they go down, they lose lots of money on that, and so they're staying away from NDI right now. But some of them are adopting it and taking those risks. How about you, Dan? Do you use NDI at all?
No, I keep it simple. I just pull it on to OBS to Restream, and out I go.
Yeah, what kind of capture card? Is it just single camera then, or?
Yep, single camera. Like basic setup. And that's one of the things that I try to tell people when they're getting into the live streaming for the first time is it doesn't need to be that fancy when you're getting the ball rolling. It's great once you got a feel for it. I love what Stephanie does, and she blows my mind with what she got going on over there. But literally, like for me, it's the simple checklist was make sure you've got natural lighting somewhere. So I always have a window near me, no matter what. Simple Logitech camera and the blue snowball mic, and that's it. And I just run with that. So for me, I try to keep it as simple as possible because I figure I'm less likely to screw it up if I keep it as simple as possible. I am not a tech guy, despite being in digital marketing and social media. I'm not a techie by any stretch of the imagination. So keeping it simple for me works pretty well, which makes something like this even more appealing to me because it's simple.
It's so funny because whenever Dan brings up like OBS, I'm like, oh, that was like my first love, right? OBS Studio, I feel like was the IKEA of live streaming. And one of those things where it's like, are you really a live streamer if you've never panicked about like your audio sources and like where random sound effects are coming from? Yeah, just OBS, man. I have goosebumps. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was great. And I mean, there's still some really cool stuff that just people are getting super freaking creative, and it's fun. It's fun. Yeah. It's fun seeing what people create. And, when you're hit with like a problem of like, man, I really want to do this. I want to make my show look different and unique. And when you use OBS, man, it's a canvas.
Absolutely. I started podcasting in 2005. I started Geekazine in 2007 when I lost my last real-time job, and I did live streaming on Ustream, and we were hodgepodging. Of course, me being a musician, I had a lot of the audio gear, the video gear not so much, so it was a lot of hodgepodging to get things together. And it was cam twist on a Mac, and the frame rate was crazy low. It was just horrible. And that's nowadays it's just like, oh yeah, I can go on Amazon, pick up a capture card and this, and I got a Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro ISO coming soon, and this is all going to change the way that we do this type of live streaming. How about Rob? How about you? Do you use any NDI?
No, mine is just Canon M50. I'm using that as my webcam, so it's just going through the the Canon app for my MacBook. So that pulls it in. I just choose that as the video source on Restream Studios here. And then I've got my microphone, and that's really it. So like Dan, I guess I'm not using a Logitech or a webcam, I'm using a camera. That's probably the only thing. And then I've got a couple lights, just to, try to brighten up this room. But other than that,
You have the mood lighting, man. That's what you.
I know. I've got the mood lighting there.
Rob on. It's hey, it's going to be this color. And I'm like magical Rob. Okay.
I'm going to get disco light soon. We'll see.
Yes. Where's the disco ball? He's going to push a button.
That'd be awesome.
Actually, I have a light sitting over here. It's on, but it's not positioned right. I like newer lights, NEEWER, which I've had for years on top of my camera, and I got the panel lights. That's what's lighting up this whole area. Yep. But they came out with the 660 SMD LED lights, which can do red, green, and blue. And they have these cool features, so I can have it look like, the cops are coming, pulling up, or if there's a lightning storm or something like that. So I'm playing with that light right now. It's a lot of fun. But I like to keep it as simple as possible, because then if anybody asks, hey, can you do something for me? Then we don't have, a lot of different things in the background that we have to move around. So, but it's all about how your show feels. And I noticed, Stephanie, you got a really great background there. Dan, of course, Captain America can't go wrong as well. And even Anya with the Restream stuff, that, it's a regular office setting, so it's perfect for exactly the audience that you're trying to get.
I was going to say that there is no background going on. It's like whatever I ended up with. I occasionally open that window that's behind me, like next to the next desk. But the thing is that we're on the first floor, and there's a kind of like a pedestrian street right here. And sometimes you see people walking by, and some of them are pretty interesting characters because it's Austin, right? Keep Austin weird. And I was like, yeah, this could be part of my show. This is definitely unique. And I'm not at the level of popularity where people would actually show up and start crowd around and make faces and do something funny on the background. But one day.
You'll get there.
It was funny because when you first introduced yourself, there was somebody standing at the window right behind you.
I'm not surprised. That happens quite a bit. It's never orchestrated. It's always Austin people just doing Austin things, so.
All right. Well, the next question, Equinox says he's a vMix specialist. Post that up. I'm a vMix specialist, so congratulations. vMix being another live streaming piece of software, works on the Windows side. It's a really nice program. I do have a copy myself. Gaming Goodies goes, it seems more fluid than Zoom. Do you guys agree on that? We'll start with I'm sorry. What? You're laughing there, Stephanie.
No, I wanted to see other different things I could do when you put the overlay. You just
being your best fan of what?
I'll put this up. Oh no, that goes across the whole board. I've missed something. What software are you using for the meeting, please?
All of us.
Everybody, what are we doing? 3, 2, 1. What software are we using? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Restream.
Restream. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, we'll go back to this question. Oh, looks almost like vMix call. Yeah. It definitely does. It definitely does. So,
but yeah, to your point with fluidity, the Zoom calls that I have, especially if I'm trying to record interviews with people, I don't often record videos for myself, but I've been on enough of these Zoom call interviews lately, and it is a headache. It is. As much as people like to tout Zoom as well, Zoom is better than Skype. Yes, that's true. But I mean, that's not for me. That's not really setting the bar too high. Whereas this seems to just we didn't have any onboarding issues. When people showed up, they were here. We were able to talk right away. We could just get down to it. And that's the biggest headache for me, is that initial 5 to 10 minutes using those other tools where it's just like, are you working? Yeah, I'm working. Are you working? Well, kind of. Hold on, let me try this. Okay, are we working better now? Yeah, okay. You spend 10, 15 minutes just calibrating, it seems. Whereas this was just, I clicked the link and we were here and everybody was smiling and happy and ready to go, so long as our mic was turned on.
Yeah, I totally agree. Oh, was that a dig on Rob or what?
I see that. I heard you.
You're gonna say
It's
something.
out of love,
Steph?
Rob. It's out of love.
Yeah. I know. No, I was gonna say like Zoom
Okay.
Zoom is a meeting platform. That's what it was built for. It wasn't
Yeah.
built as a live streaming platform. That's a secondary like, oh, maybe we can make some money, connecting Facebook and YouTube to it. But it's not like like pulling in comments, having different scenes and different displays and layouts. You just can't do that with Zoom, and you don't know which screen you're sharing and stuff like that. It's built for meetings, definitely not for live streams. So
You were gonna say something, Stephanie?
Oh, I was going to say, did you guys know that there's now certifications that like a test that you could take to say like, I am Zoom certified to know how to turn on my camera and my mic. And then people have all these jokes on LinkedIn. They're like, this now needs to be a requirement where you know how to mute your mic and turn on your camera. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of stuff. And who here has tried out the app? MmmHmm.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah.
Yay or nay, really quick, Anya.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. I loved it. I felt like I'm inside the iPhone and I'm moving things. It's like clicking and just super intuitive, and I loved it. Yeah, absolutely.
Stephanie?
Oh gosh, I dissent. Okay. Would it be fun if I was always agreeing with everyone? I think for a beginner, if you are new to everything, it's cool. It's fun to play around with. But if you're already super savvy with Restream and all the other stuff, then you would look at it and be like, okay, this was cute. All right, moving back on to what I already have.
Yeah, and I used it too, and it's nice, but I am so over. Hey, here's my PowerPoint presentation that I'm going to show on screen, and I'm just going to read it word for word because I don't know how to memorize my PowerPoint presentations.
Wait, that's not engaging? That's not engaging content? That's not how it's done?
It's not, but a lot of enterprise IT, they actually have to show work paths and things like that, and yeah, they end up putting a lot of text on there, and it gets really boring really fast. And when you're sitting there recording them, going, and I liked, and you're watching it, you're literally watching them as they got on the screen, they're like doing this, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming to my show. It's like, dude, keep your eyes straight, keep them straight.
So, Steph, this is where they need that LinkedIn Live course that you're doing. This is how we improve the IT world's presentations.
It was so funny because we were doing a training yesterday, and yeah, like totally agree in the sense that like you could see if someone's reading, but I was like, but you know what? If you just put your transcript over to one side, right, then it's okay because it kind of feels like you're looking over at the chat, right? Because then that makes sense. And you could still glance back. That to me was like the hack, was like, okay, you could look over it a little bit as if you were looking at the chat and then go back to it. But if it's like right there, it's like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Were you going to say something, Rob, there?
No, it's good. That's a good tip. Like, I'll just split my screen. So I get all the guests for our live show to fill out a form, like a type form with all their information. So I'll make that half the screen, and then Restream will be the other half in the intro. So that I'm like reading, trying to make and it just looks like I'm looking at the chat. So it doesn't look like I'm looking down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, good tip.
Yeah. So some of the stuff that I do, I actually, where somebody's, we do a show where my business partner, he's actually doing the presentation and I'm just reading. So what I like to do is I have my other two monitors here. I like to be like this so they know that I'm following along instead of looking at the camera. Because I think there's 2 points to things. One is looking at your audience and saying hi to your audience with your eyes. And the other one is to be in like a learning mode. And that's what I like to do is watch the screens, watch him present rather than watch the camera present. And I think that works. Does anybody disagree with that method?
Yeah, I've got a 3-monitor setup, and I do something similar when I'm on the calls where I'll put the video of the speaker on the other window so I can make sure, depending on which side they're on, I make sure to move the camera to wherever it's going to be. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier, and it looks like you're having a dialogue where you're listening back and forth. Occasionally people see me look up, and that's where the stock tickers are, but otherwise it's like, okay.
So you're not looking at Anya?
I am. That's exactly who I was staring at. That beautiful office there.
Anya is right where the stock markets are.
Yes, she's all over.
Pretty cool place.
Where's the Restream stock at?
Not publicly.
we're not. Yeah, we're not public. So
I looked into it.
Soon. You better. Yeah, I'd buy one share of that. So, all right, next question comes back. Equinox, he goes, how do you add the overlays in lower thirds? Anya, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have overlays that you can design yourself. And it's basically an image with some transparent parts of that. So, for example, when I run my shows, I actually design overlays for my name and my guest name to show them specifically. Oh, yeah, I can see the infinity screen already. So guess we're going to see a little bit of how they would look. So those are captions, but if you go to the graphics section, you will see overlays. And you see like you have some like of the default options, and this is designed to be on top, but you can design your own and you can put it anywhere you want. The only thing is, you're gonna kind of pick between overlays or captions. Otherwise, they kind of like will mess with each other. But yeah, you definitely can design whatever you want and add it the way you want, and you can like transition between them in the middle of the show. For that, this is kind of like a multitasking thing. If you are kind of like a one-person show who is the host, also the content driver, asking questions, delivering things, and also you manage the chat, then it kind of becomes overwhelming. But definitely overlays allow you to design your messaging and your branding in absolutely any way you want. And you also have logos that are separate on this, not this, end of the stream.
Oh, my Geekazine logo on the corner there?
Yep.
Okay. And we talked about hotkeys coming soon, correct?
Yes, a lot of requests for that. Hotkeys we already have those like funny ones for muting and turning off your video. And we are hoping to soon add some for changing layouts. So like you could do that spotlight thing or full screen change so now we're all in this horizontal mode, but there's also like a little like a selfie vertical mode that you could put people in. I don't know if I would. Oh, here we go.
Oh,
so like
that actually looks better on a sixplex.
I like that.
Yeah.
For 6 people, like if it's 2 of you, it just turns this into like what I call a selfie mode, because it just like makes your face big and looks like you're just like trying to like selfie mode your camera. Which, funny enough, one of my guests did that because they joined with their phone. And here you go.
Like that, So we got a one-on-one. So that works a one-on-one, but when you start getting other people in, it's kind of nice. I like that.
I'm having severe Brady Bunch mode here of just like people popping in.
Okay, Dan gets to be the presenter now.
Yeah, I'll present.
There you go.
Dana White.
Yeah,
we got no questions in the on the chat. And by the way, speaking of questions, these questions are all coming from YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, from Twitch. No LinkedIn Live yet. I'm hoping someday LinkedIn Live, but not yet. But whatever social network you're connected with, it's also connecting to the chat, and that chat is coming in the corner. And so we're getting messages from all over the place. Whoever's watching, whoever's consuming this content, and you never know when you're going to find your next customer. That whole 1,101 rule, right?
I mean, that's one of my favorite features with Restream is having all those communities at once. Right now, when we're doing this interview style thing, it's all just the cameras. But when I do my live stream in the morning, I actually have the Restream chat. I guess it would be over here. Actually, a portion of my screen is the Restream chat. So everybody watching at all the different places can see all of the different questions from YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn, and that way it's not just one community. The Twitch community that I'm talking to can interact with the YouTube community, even though they may be on different platforms, which I absolutely love, because that was one of the huge frustrations I had at the get-go. OBS Stream Elements or OBS itself, you're able to integrate with Twitch directly, but as far as a solution where you can have all of the chats at once integrated and engaging with one another, that just wasn't there. And Restream fixed that so simple. It's like, oh, this is so much easier. I'll just screen capture that tool, and now everybody can see the conversation. I don't constantly have to be going, well, so-and-so from YouTube has said this. What do you guys think about that? Instead, it's right there for them to see, which is, for me, I hate being the guy that repeats and does the Uhura thing from Star Trek, right? Like the ship says one thing and then you got to repeat it. And it's like, well, I mean, come on. This is 2010. We can do better than 2020. We can do better than that. I'm living a decade.
That was a good one, the 2010.
That's okay. I just installed version 2004 of Windows 10 the other day. So.
Nice. Oh, the
Time
Geekazine
machine.
IPO. That's a good question. When is Geekazine going to go into IPO?
Actually, technically, I do have IPO. There's a website out there that's the virtual stocks. What's the name of that website? It was a social network. They tried to have the stock market.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I can't think of it right now. And if I called up my email, I could probably. Anyway, doesn't matter. So technically, I'm at like 1,500 shares last time I looked on my stock market area. So
there you go. He's already IPO'd on the social media stock market. You can just grab your options on that. Long calls on Geekazine.
I gotta find out. Is anybody else on this?
I'm on it. I can't remember what it was. I thought it was a fun toy when it first came out, and I can't remember what it's called.
That would be a cool thing on Patreon where it's like you could have your viewers invest in you, and then if you reach a goal, then they get like a kickback for like
Isn't there something like that already where they can actually send you stocks? It's kind of like they can gift stocks to you.
Yeah, you can gift stocks.
I thought I saw Sid Graham Stephan on YouTube. He was like, that's like one of his revenue channels. People give him stocks. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's something you can do. You can actually buy gift cards that have stocks on them. So we've got a buddy in the stock trading community, a stock guy, on Twitch, and he just found out he's having a baby girl. And so a lot of people are putting together like a baby ETF, which is just a selection of a bunch of different stocks, and they're going to put it on a gift card and send it to him. And I thought, that's kind of a fun way to just be able to share and do that. But anyway, I know what you're talking about, where it was like a mix of social media and clout, right? Where it's
it's cred.
Yeah, there it is.
Cred. This is it. Yeah. This empire.cred. Because he had clout and he had cred, and then this company bought cred, and now they're it's okay. So I'm sitting at what is it, 1,219 share price. So if you wanna buy stock in me, there you go. You have that option right there.
I'm investing right now.
All right. Next question is, can you control each participant's audio level? Yeah, I tell them turn up and turn down.
Especially if you're like Stephanie, who can hypnotize people. You can tell them to do whatever. Great question. Actually, we are bringing in muting your guests, the mute and unmute function very soon. We are also looking into like controlling the level, but for the most part, the most priority thing right now is to actually allow hosts to mute, and the sound levels are something that we're going to be kind of like putting for the future. But yeah, definitely something that we're looking into.
One thing that I like is and you have to deal with it every now and then, and I even deal with that, especially if you're using NDI, is that audio-video latency. So you start talking, and all of a sudden it doesn't look like you're talking right now, like you're just entered into a kung fu movie or something like that. So I like we've got some great screens, and when I call it up, there's not much delay from person to person. So. All right. Don't have any more questions on the chat, so I'll give it to you, panel. We'll start with Stephanie. Stephanie, do you have anything that you want to ask Dan, Rob, or Anya?
Oh.
Or the whole group.
If there was only one piece of live streaming gear that you could keep and everything else had to be basic, what would it be?
Ooh.
Rob?
Oh,
nice.
First, I'd probably say the camera. Do I have to say why? Or no?
Yeah, for sure. You can't just say camera. Why?
You want to look good. You want to look.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I mean, especially if you're live streaming, I think the visuals are important. Obviously, audio is too. But I think if I had just my MacBook, mic, my built-in mic, I think we could get by. But I would rather have that than sacrifice using the MacBook webcam, the built-in webcam for live streaming anyway. So the camera.
Dan?
Funny. I'm actually going to go the other way. For me, it's the mic. I find people are very forgiving about visual. If you go pixelated, it's not the sharpest quality. You don't like Captain America for whatever reason. Like, they'll forgive that if the camera's not great. But if your audio is garbage, nobody is sticking around to watch it. I don't want to watch it. They don't want to watch it. I completely understand where it's like that high screeching, awful, distorted mic sound. It drives me bonkers to watch people that go live with that. So for me, it would definitely have to be something, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. There are a lot of great mics out there that work really well. I know I mentioned Blue before, but Alki does some. Rode mics work really well. There's lots of great mics out there that are very cost effective, but having that quality mic for me, I think, is really important.
Are you showing a mic there, Rob? Or
Yeah, there's a little one, the little Joby one.
I'm actually reviewing this. This is the Movo VSM5, and it's on a Blue Yeti Compass boom arm. But yeah, I have tons of microphones myself. Anya?
Oh gosh. So I was gonna say, like, where's the basic, kind of like where's the bottom ground of where you start? Is it just like your laptop and like nothing else? Because in that case, I'll pick internet connection, because guess what is gonna ruin your stream big time, whether you have the most badass camera and microphone and lights, is that, that kind of limiting internet connection. I recently got this adapter to actually connect my internet through Ethernet, so basically cable versus Wi-Fi. And this changed my game big time. Like, I am so happy I can stream full HD. I can do all kinds of great things. I'm not worried anymore that things will get disconnected. So, and a lot of times we hear from our users saying like, oh gosh, this didn't work for me. Oh, I'm pixelated. Oh, like this is delayed. And literally 9 times out of 10, it's because something is going on with their internet. So for me, that would be, for the quality of stream and kind of like sustainability of that would be my priority. But in terms of this mic versus camera battle, I'm definitely a mic person. And that's why you can see that I'm proudly sitting here with my AKG, because I do believe that people are more forgiving to video than audio. And a lot of people experience your live streams as a podcast, actually. Like, a lot of people who are watching us right now are having us on the background while they're doing their other like work or things. So I would definitely prioritize audio over video if I had one more extra thing in addition to internet to add to my setup.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I'd go audio over video, but the one thing I would want to keep is my producer, because then they'd have all the equipment. So
clever.
And then of course Equinox goes, I will not give up my Stream Deck, LOL. And that who all has a Stream Deck here? Let me get to this. So.
Am I really the only one? Really?
No. Geekazine's got one. I just can't.
I don't.
Oh man.
Stream Deck is who has Xkeys? Xkeys is the closest competitor to Stream Deck. So yeah, it's just basically a hotkey button. So and of course it doesn't work here too well. But if I wanted to switch between my different cameras, I can do that. And over on Wirecast, it does a great job on that. So I can totally understand that Stream Deck is a good thing. But if you don't have audio and video, that's the point. What's the point? So, All right, we're getting close to the top of the hour. Do any of you need to get going, or?
I've got the market up there. I'm good to hang out. So.
Okay. Well, let's finish this section really quick. Let's go to Dan. Dan, is there any questions that you have for the group?
Oh man. Everybody is talking about live video all of a sudden, which is really exciting for me. Even on YouTube, I'm seeing a lot of people that traditionally would be pre-recorded content or more curated, polished content, making that transition over to live video. I'm wondering with you guys, which platform, and it doesn't have to be one that you're currently on, it could be one that you've always wanted to try, but which platform for live video has you most intrigued headed into Q4 or 2021?
Stephanie.
Ooh, I just realized that you could start live streaming into Facebook events. And for those, content creators, educators that just don't want to bother with landing pages, ClickFunnels, and all of that stuff, having the opportunity to create a Facebook event where tons and tons of people, millions of people are looking at Facebook events daily, to monetize that event and leverage a live stream in there, I think that is really going to gain some ground, especially with the fact that like the fees, they're free for the next year right now.
Wow.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cool. Rob?
I would say, actually, thanks to Dan, actually drawing some attention when we interviewed Dan on our show. Really intrigued by Twitch at this time, especially obviously we're going after YouTubers, so there's lots of streamers there that are gamers, but also interested to see what the interest is for more business type content, tutorial type content around growing their live streams or their YouTube channel. We've got a lot of partners that are there, not talking about gaming. So yeah, in the next couple of quarters, you might see us on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm on Twitch, and I don't do any. I try to do games and fail miserably. So it's a nice extra for streaming. Anya?
Yeah, that's interesting about Twitch. We traditionally always thought that people who use Restream and go on Twitch are gamers. We just like categorize them like that. And we're like, yep, that's it. That's the indicator. And it is not the case anymore. So we kind of like had to rethink the way we see our user base in that sense. I am personally the most excited about platforms that are adding live video to them as a new thing and new element. So LinkedIn was kind of like leading the way, so definitely exciting. But already LinkedIn Live is already a thing for quite a while, so people are not that intrigued about that. But when I hear things like, Eventbrite is going to add live video to it, so people could live stream events considering coronavirus. When Mixcloud recently integrated with Restream, saying, "Hey, now DJs can live stream video to their, traditionally playlist platform where people would just connect and listen, and now they can actually see them play and perform, like those kind of things." Amazon Live's adding videos so people could benefit from e-commerce, talk about products, and immediately have a little link where you can click and buy that. So those kind of different fields and different industry branching in and realizing the potential of live content on their platform, whatever that is, whatever it's mainly for, events, marketplaces, or anything, or music, is what I'm especially excited about, because that is, I believe, the opportunity and kind of like a mind-blowing and door-opening place for content creators of all kinds and all kinds of backgrounds.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I work with a lot of people that need to get their streams out, and sometimes it's not a cut and dry YouTube, Facebook type situation. Like for instance, anybody that's dealing with the spiritual end wants to be on the church streaming network, where they have streams for those that want to preach the word. We also have. I had the other one in my head and then I just completely lost it. Twitch being, of course, the gamers, although it's not as much of a gamer thing anymore. I've been, last 3 months for me, I've been on Amazon live streams, showing products during peak hours, during the day. And that's not as much of a, here's my stream as it is, here's something that is being sold on Amazon. So you end up buying it. So you can't just say, okay, this is the product that I'm going to show. If it's not on Amazon, I'm not going to go to that channel. So it's really specific. The one thing I don't like, I'll tell you right now, is any live stream social network that wants to limit how people can live stream. And LinkedIn Live's one of them. And TikTok is another one where you got to have so many subscribers to get on live. I think if they open those floodgates a little bit more, I understand you have to have a minimum amount like YouTube does before people can stream. But if you open those floodgates, then you're going to find that all of a sudden the people that are the top TikTok streamers are going to have so much more competition from many other people. And I think that's holding them back a little bit. But then again, Microsoft might buy them, or Twitter might buy them, or Oracle might buy them. I don't even understand the Oracle part, but they might have it down the line. So, Rob, do you have any questions for the panel?
Oh, a question. I would.
We're on Rob, right?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. Okay.
What is one thing that a new live streamer, what's one skill that they should have or try to learn?
We'll start with Anya.
Oh, that's a good one. I love that question. This is really brilliant. I think courage. Like, you just have to be. You just have to be. It doesn't really matter what kind of personality you have. It definitely doesn't matter what kind of gear you have or like what kind of skills. As long as you have a message to deliver, that would probably be very, very important kind of like indicator whether you want to start live streaming or not. But once it's there, most people have 100 reasons why they shouldn't be live. And that's usually related to things like, oh, my hair doesn't look good on camera. I sound like something strange. I have an accent. Check it in right here. I don't have, good internet. Like there's so many things that you can talk yourself out for. Yeah, exactly. Right. Before I finish any sentence, people are like, what happened to that Texas accent right here? And I think that you just have to overcome yourself and just tell yourself to embrace this all and just be brave and try it out. And it's going to be so much better than you expect. That's one thing I can promise.
Dan?
I would say get used to your own voice. I remember when I first got started on Twitch, that was the weirdest thing to hear yourself and be like, oh, that's me on the camera. This is this really awkward thing of, it would be like watching live TV and there you are, the news anchor or whatever. And there is that disconnect of, this is really weird. And I think at first when you start streaming, you're like, oh no, the whole world can see me. Trust me, it's literally your mom and like your best friend that can see you, so you'll be fine. But get used to that sound. Get used to that sound of your own voice. Get used to how you see on camera. Guys, you've got that natural fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing where we don't really have to do up our hair and look really great. I know a lot of ladies that they like to look very professional when they get on camera. Most guys that I know, they throw on a ball cap or they just wake up at 4:30 in the morning like I do, and I've got bedhead everywhere and I don't care. But like, just get used to how you look on camera, get used to how you sound. That would probably be my biggest tip for anybody just breaking in.
Stephanie?
I would definitely say that there are resources and relationships, so you should start building them now. Whatever platform you're on, whether you want to grow your channel, grow your audience, start building relationships with others, because if something goes down with your software, your programs, then you have a community that you can reach out to. And that's one of the reasons why I love having Anya, speed dial, like, hey, I have this big project coming through with the client. Can you weigh in? Can you give me some advice? And then Rob will weigh in and tell me things about LinkedIn. So as a live streamer, don't feel as if you are doing this by yourself. You will be welcomed with open arms into an amazing community that knows how it feels like, to feel awkward at first, on camera, and also knows like the dangers of shiny objects, right? Well, we'll tell you like, dude, just freaking be disciplined. Just get it right the first time. And then you could add this and you could add all that, right? Saying from OBS studio days, right? Yep. But definitely for sure, build your community, leverage the community, get ideas from other people. Never feel as if you're doing this by yourself, because when one boat rises, we all rise together.
Absolutely. And for me, it's about the looks. I mean, look at this face. It wants to watch that. So
gorgeous.
No, seriously, you can't kind of see it now, but I do have a thing called vitiligo, which is the lack of melanin in the skin. So at one time I used to have a really good skin tone, but then as time progressed and sunburns basically burnt off the skin tone. So there's points where you've seen people with vitiligo proud in the last couple of years proudly sharing off their skin tones, and it looks very different. Plus, in 2005, I had Bell's palsy on this side of my face. Last year, I suffered Bell's palsy on this side of my face. So there's a lot of times where I wake up and, like right now, talking for about an hour, this side feels like there's a rock sitting right on my face. And it's affected my teeth. It's affected, how I speak, how I sing, because I'm also a musician. And that's, these are things that really weigh on me when I get on camera. But I still think to myself, I've got to get on camera. That's what I do. That's how I wanted to. That's, otherwise I'd be still in enterprise IT doing the 9-to-5 job thing, and maybe not even having a job right now because of a very uncertain time. So I'm glad I did that. So I hope that would inspire anybody to make that change and do that from there. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
all right. Well, I think we're good. Unless, I'm sorry, Anya. Did you ask a question or?
Oh, I didn't, but I the question
Go
that
for
I
it.
the question that I like to ask, and if we had a little bit more time, because it's more like a story, tell a story question, is I like to ask my guests who I interview to tell an epic fail story, like how something completely wrong and terrible going on with your stream. And I believe it is very encouraging for people who are starting or thinking about starting, because a lot of those people look at that, me or Stephanie specifically, because her streams are so good, so polished, so perfect, and think like, oh my gosh, I will never, like everything will go wrong with me, like everything will go wrong with technology. So I like to share those stories, but maybe we can, since, it will take quite a bit of time if everyone's like sharing that story. So maybe you can just describe your live streaming journey in one word. Like, what is one word that describes your path from 0 to 1 or 100, wherever you are today, in terms of live streaming and content creator?
We'll start with Dan.
Your first question is actually easier.
Go ahead. If we've got time, go ahead. Tell your story.
Okay, I'll give you both. Momentum would be the one word, I guess. Where, like Stephanie was saying, just get going, and that tiny little snowball becomes an avalanche before you know it. If I think back to the first Twitch stream where I was completely clueless and never done live anything whatsoever, people told me I was too much of a boomer to actually make Twitch work. Momentum has a funny way of rolling, and now I'm a YouTube partner and Twitch partner and LinkedIn Live and all that jazz. So it rolls, it grows. As far as the fail, if you guys go to my YouTube channel, and I leave these failures up so people can have this encouragement. If you look at my first 3 to 5 videos, there's no audio. I am literally talking for 10 minutes straight, and there is no audio whatsoever. And I published the video anyway, because I knew 300 videos down the road, somebody's going to say, well, it's easy for you because X, Y, or Z. And I could always point back to those first videos and go, there's not a single ounce of audio. The algorithm on YouTube hates these videos because there's no sound for it to understand what is happening right now. So, if that was going to be my biggest failure, check out the YouTube. It's there. I leave those videos live. No audio whatsoever.
Love it.
Stephanie?
I would say the one word would definitely be, it's a blessing. I had started live streaming because I left the agency world to start my own agency consulting. And, God, you guys, back then I had so many limiting beliefs, so many reasons for why I shouldn't do it, but it was a blessing that I got the courage and I did it. And it's such a blessing to be able to be, here with you guys, to talk with you and have this community that's so absolutely supportive. So it just, you never know what's on that other side of fear. Mm-hmm. And so when you cross that, there's just so many other opportunities that come from it. Now, as far as the fail story, this is probably my favorite. I had Bella Vasta on the show, and in the middle of the show, we're like 15 minutes in, I see, oh, you guys know what I'm going to say. I see the battery start to blink, and I was like, you didn't put in the dummy battery? Like, oh my God, rookie, what's going on, right? And so, but Bella, she's such a pro, because I was like, oh, Bella, I did something really funny. I went to a client event, totally forgot to plug in my battery. And at that moment, she knew exactly what I was saying. It was like twin superpowers. And then, so what you hear all of a sudden, like legit, I put her on the screen, and in the background, you hear me like plugging stuff in. I didn't mute my mic, which is like even better. And I'm like, plug this in. And then I come back, and then Bella goes, and now we're back, because she stopped hearing all like the sound. But that was my fail.
Do I have to link to that?
Just find the one with Bella.
I really want to watch that.
Oh, and that's a good thing too, is that you could repurpose your bloopers, right? So yeah, I'll definitely put it out there. Like, remember that one time, Bella, where I had to crawl underneath my desk midstream?
Nice. Rob, and you can't talk about how you forgot to unmute yourself in this episode.
He's muted right now.
Exactly. So I am, Yeah, so I guess my whole live streaming work has been like, it's not one word, but it's just open doors. So yeah, like I started live streaming, I would say probably 2 or 3 years ago when I was still at a company called Thinkific. And so we were doing live streams, you know, from the phone initially. And we were doing interviews on Facebook Live from our phone, telling the guests to just like join the live stream, and then we would bring them on through the app. So it was like really like very rookie. And then we started using platforms and stuff. But that just opened doors. It just opened doors for influencers to invite us to their show, and it just kind of snowballed from there. So just like what, you know, Stephanie said, you know, there's so many opportunities that open up that, you know, if you don't take that leap to show up in front of the camera, there's just so many things that you're just missing out on for your business, for your personal, you know, growth and your career. So that's what I would say. And then from there, things evolved and relationships started opening up, and opportunities with TubeBuddy, you know, sort of started to blossom, and that's why I'm here now. And then yeah, it's always the audio. So there's 2 things, I guess. There's audio, same thing as Dan. There's some older live streams that if you guys go back on my channel for like 10 minutes. My channel was still new. My YouTube channel was still new, so there wasn't too many people there on the live streams. But nobody said that my microphone was off or muted. So it was like 10, 15 minutes of me talking, just moving around and stuff, and there's no audio. But I leave it on just like Dan does. I also leave on some older videos where the introduction was really long, and I'll share with you guys the link. But people would call me up like, "Oh, your introduction is so long. Just guys, if you're watching this, fast forward to 3 minutes." And because the introduction is so long, but I just leave it on there, just like Dan does, to like tell people like, "Hey, it's not, you know, you don't start from like this point. Like you can check out my older videos and all the fails there." So, yeah.
Okay. And what was your word again?
My word? Open doors. Open doors.
Open doors. Okay.
Two words.
Okay. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I was going to say, if you ever want more engagement and more comments on your show, mute your mic and then just talk. Because then everyone will be like, you're muted.
Or put a typo in your title. Put a typo there and type in the title. They'll be like, "Oh, you spelled it wrong." Thank you. You're right.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, I missed that.
Oh,
How could I? Yeah.
That is
this
lovely.
mic? This mic?
Well, which mic? Is it this mic? Let me tap on this mic. Is it this mic? For me, many fails. And one in particular, there was a client that I went to, and we were just going to do a simple panels stream. It was an hour event, and I was a little concerned because usually when I go to these events, we go for a little bit longer than an hour. So it's going to be a very short setup, a very quick hour, and then tear down. And so I decided what a lot of people do is they end up setting up their gear outside. So when it's time to go in and do it, you walk inside and then you set it down and it's all ready to go. Well, at that point, I had a piece of hardware fail on me. And that caused the whole stream to not work the way that I wanted it to. And it was a 2-camera shoot, so I could have a camera. It was a PTZ camera, which is a point tilt zoom camera. Focus in on the panel, each panel guest, and then there was one camera, actually the camera I'm using that you guys are watching me from, that would do an overall shot. Well, since everything started to fail, the only thing I could do was 1 camera shoot, and I ended up having to tear apart all my gear and reassemble it just for the 1 camera. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, because I'm always trying to create perfection, even though many times people won't see the stuff that I do because my mom doesn't watch my videos, as was put before. But I still work for striving to get the best look, the best feel, as all you seem to do, and you're doing a great job on that. So, and then of course my word is passion, because if it wasn't for passion, I'd be still in enterprise IT, and we'd probably be still at our jobs, and we wouldn't be doing this, and we wouldn't be having this conversation at this time on a Thursday afternoon. We'd be wondering what's in the vending machine, and how much coffee is left in my cup. And oh my goodness, no, she's not coming here to complain about how this is not working. Right.
That's a good one.
All right. So let's go back. We're going to do a reverse. We're going to start with Rob. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Check if I'm mute. No, I'm. Yeah, you guys can find me anywhere at TwoBuddy. And there you go. Misspelled, but that's fine. Close enough. And, yeah.
Darn. I'm sorry. I'm going to. I'll correct that.
Yeah. No, all good. So yeah, just copy and paste my name and look me up on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, LinkedIn. Yeah, happy to connect. Ask me anything.
Dan?
Yeah, just search my name on YouTube or Twitch, Dan. I don't know what socialmediapolis.com is, but I recommend you check them out because that's probably a blast.
I thought that was on your LinkedIn site.
Maybe it's a different Dan. I'm sure they're fantastic, though. But you can find me on LinkedIn with my name, or YouTube with my name, or Twitch with my name.
Failing already. Oh my goodness.
No, but this is great because this makes it memorable. When people think, oh man, I really want to connect with this guy, socialmediapolis.com. No, wait, that didn't have anything to do with him. I actually have to go to something else. That's fantastic. I love that. But yeah, just search my name. You'll find me. You'll see me. Yeah.
I'm not even going to try to put down lower 30.
No, I was waiting. I was like, what is he going to put on there?
Let's see what we got.
Go. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Stephanie Liu from Lights Camera Live. So that's where you can find me if you want to learn anything about live streaming.
Awesome. And Anya, and I hope I got this one right.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
that is not necessarily the place where you find me, but this is where you will find Restream, and you can type up my first and last name in LinkedIn. This is where I prefer to connect with new people and kind of like keep my contact organized. It's also anya.razina@restream.io if you want to shoot me an email. I tend to respond to those. But yeah, LinkedIn invitation would be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think it's if you just search it, I think it's Anya with Restream
Awesome.
on LinkedIn.
Nice.
And of course, everybody can find me at Geekazine, Think Magazine, Put in a Geek. You got me, all the socials as well. I'd like to thank the whole panel here. You did a great job. Give yourself a round of applause. Yay. So we're gonna try this again in the up and coming weeks. So feel free to, in the comments down below, say what you think, what you like, what you didn't like, and of course, reach out to these people and their websites or different websites and trying to figure out where the heck they are, because I don't know where they are. I had LinkedIn pages already, and I was going to show them on screen, and I never did that either. So it's always a continual trying to figure out how things work. So thanks again to everybody that came on the show, and you guys stick around for a second so I can thank you after the show. But I'm going to go like this. Thank you guys very much for watching. This has been the afternoon show, not the morning show, not the evening show, not the late show or the late show, the afternoon show with me, Jeffrey Powers, and it's part of Geek Tech Talk Live. Till next time, you guys geek out.